I
Here,
have one too.
here we go. We are recording. All right. So, to introduce myself, I don't think I've met you, Karina, but I've met you, Kathy, and Marilyn. My name is Amy Sandvos. I am a certified personal trainer, health coach, and I am an essential oil educator and enthusiast. I have 4 kids and a husband. My kids range from 11 to 2. So there's 11, 9, no, almost 9, 5, and a 2-year-old, boy, girl, boy. And I think you could probably rename this class What I Wish I Would Have Known 10 years ago. So Nolan, my oldest, he is now 11. He actually is the reason that I am in any way connected to Wellness Within and know Patty, because I was a client. I am a client of Wellness Within. He had leukemia. He was diagnosed when he was 1.5. And I now have another son, and it's been a very interesting, all right, Denise is coming in. It's been an interesting journey having another son and working through the emotions that come with having another son and watching those developmental things come. So I came to Wellness Within, as you can imagine, as some of you probably did, a ball of, anxiety and not knowing what my next steps were after being a caregiver for 3 years. And looking back at that time, I wish I had these tools to help boost my immune system, his immune system, to really help me center and ground and calm through such a hard time. So I'm excited that you guys are all here. I know that you guys all have your own stories relating to cancer. I wish we had more time that I could learn more about them and connect with you guys in that way. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that I have a little bit of the knowledge. I don't have a knowledge of a patient, but I have a knowledge of a caregiver and what I wish I would have known 10 years ago. So just wanted to kick that off. And also I want to welcome Denise. Thank you for coming in. On the bottoms of the screen, if you see there your toolbar, if you want to mute yourself or unmute yourself, you can do that if there's noise in the background or whatever. So that is up to you. We are recording this session for future friends that want to come along. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump right into our presentation. I'm going to go ahead and screen share. I'm going to remember how to do this. Hold on one second. And share. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I think, hold on one sec. File, there's a way to have it not have the toolbar on the side. All right, widescreen. There we go. Okay. So essential oils and aromatherapy is why we are here today. Do any of you guys have experience using essential oils?
Not too much. I have some that were given to me, but I really don't know how to use them.
Okay, well, this is going to be the perfect class. We'll make sure you end here and you know what to do and how to use them and feeling comfortable. So a lot of people don't even really know what essential oils are. And so essential oils are chemical constituents or compounds from plants that have benefits for the body and the mind. So the way that they get these from the plants, I keep forgetting I need to look at you guys right here. I keep looking at you guys over on the side right here. I see all your faces lined up. So how they extract these, depending on the oil. So lemon oil is actually extracted from like the rind. So when you like zest a lemon, it's actually cold pressed from the peel. And that's going to be any citrus. It's going to be always cold pressed. It's not heat treated. When you see something like a resin or an herb, it's actually steam distilled, and then that's how they collect the essential oils. And they have real chemical compounds. Like lavender, for example, the main chemical compound is called linalool. And that's actually and it's found in other essential oils as well. but it's the compound that is calming to your system and soothing. And so there are real chemical constituents in these that actually have real effects on the body. And they actually synthesize these types of chemicals into different things. And like, let's say, like a Bengay or like a cream that you would use for pain, they actually use a synthesized version of wintergreen. So it's an interesting, it's interesting that science copies nature. So essential oils are natural and safe solutions with side benefits rather than side effects. So with essential oils, say you were using lavender. I'm just going to keep using lavender as an example because it's such a commonly used one. I'm flipping through this book called The Essential Life. And I would actually invite you to grab a pencil and paper and write down little things that I share. I think I linked this in the notes. I'm actually going to be putting a link to these exact notes in the comments after we get off the call. And there are clickable links in there for you guys. So the Essential Life book, there's also an app, is one of my favorites. And let me get to lavender here. So it's going to show us lavender. So in the top constituents, main constituents are linalool, A, terpineol, linyl acetate, and B, I don't even know how to say that word. But there's the real chemical compounds, but the top properties. So with, something that you'd use for a headache, there might be, ibuprofen. There's like the side effects that it's not good for your organs, your stomach lining. The top properties for lavender, it's sedative, but it's also antihistamine. It's also hypotensive, so it's going to help calm your circulation. It's nervine, it's relaxing, it's soothing. It's also antibacterial. Did you know it's antibacterial? And it's regenerative. So if you're using lavender to soothe your skin, you're also going to get soothing effects for your entire body. You're also going to get regenerative effects for your body. You're not going to get any of those side effects. You're going to get side benefits. So that is something I love about oils. Essential oils have the ability to permeate the cell membrane for effective results. So essential oils are fat soluble, so they can actually go through the cell membrane, and viruses live on the inside of a cell, and bacteria and things can live on the outside of the cell. Lots of times medications, or let's say, what are they called that they give you? I never take them. Why am I can't think of this word?
Antibiotics?
Antibiotic, yes. We never take antibiotics. So antibiotics can only get to the outside, right, of the cell, where essential oils can actually permeate the cell membrane and get into the cell and take care of viral things. So that's why essential oils can be so effective. Essential oils are affordable. Depending on the oil, they're pennies per drop. So you could say pennies per dose. Essential oils are generally recognized as safe. Safety testing has shown to have minimal to no side effects, adverse effects. So if you were to have an adverse side effect to an essential oil, what you would see is skin irritation upon applying, or if you're applying too much, you might get a headache. If you've taken too much, if say you put some in your water, you've taken too much internally, you might get a stomach ache. But other than that, you're not going to see too many negative effects. Okay, so when you are getting essential oils, what do you want to look for? There's a lot of essential oils companies out there. You can find them from the gas station to Walmart, to Whole Foods, to online companies. What are you looking for? You want to look for a company that has sustainable and responsible sourcing. Where are the oils coming from? Are the farmers getting paid a fair wage? All that kind of stuff. You want to check that out. You want to look for a company that does extensive and thorough testing, and you want third-party testing. You don't want only in-house testing, because who knows what they're telling you, right? So you want third-party testing. Are they tested for adulteration or contamination? You want clear and accessible safety and usage information. So you want to make sure that you're having access to safety and education, and making sure that you know how to use your oils effectively and safely. And a company want transparency. Whoops, that is me, guys. Sorry. So you want to look for transparency. Are the oils tested by a third party? And are those tests available to the public? So that's something that you want to just make sure you look for. And today I'm not talking about a certain brand. I definitely use certain brand, but I'm just going to talk about essential oils in general. Okay, so ways to use essential oils for aromatherapy. There are actually 3 ways to use essential oils, but I'm actually going to talk about, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm going to mute this for a second because my computer keeps sending messages. Okay, so topically is one of the ways you can use essential oils for aromatic benefits. So what you would want to do is apply it to the area of concern for localized benefits. So when you say localized benefits, what you're talking about would be a sore muscle, or if you're having a headache, or if you got like a little burn, you can put some lavender. If your feet are sore, or if, just certain things like that, that would be kind of a topical application. If you're needing respiratory support, you can rub some essential oils on your chest. A great way to apply oils as well is the bottoms of the feet, because of all of the reflexology points there, down the spine, and on your pulse points. You always want to dilute with a carrier oil. So carrier oils could be anything from fractionated coconut oil, which is my favorite. It absorbs well into the skin. You can use jojoba. You can use sweet almond oil. You can really use any other oil that you want. You could even use regular coconut oil that's solid. That stays pretty greasy though. So I just unmuted everything. The messages stopped. Okay, so really any carrier works if you have a preference. The reason I prefer fractionated coconut oil is because it really helps the oils, essential oils, stay on your skin, helps them absorb nicely, and it doesn't leave you greasy. And I just really like it that way. So what you're gonna wanna do when you apply topically is apply to your pulse points as well. And I'm gonna show you guys where all the pulse points are. Another way to use oils is aromatically. So you can just put a drop in your hand and you can smell it from your hand. It positively affects your mood and it helps clean the air and opens your airways. And when you are putting on something topically on your skin and breathing it in, you are actually ingesting this oil, right? It's getting into your bloodstream, it's getting into your mucous membranes, and so you really want to touch back to the quality of your oil. The other way you can use oils, and I didn't put on here because you're going over aromatherapy, but I use oils internally. I use a very high quality brand, and so I'm comfortable doing that. And you only want to use the oil internally that has a supplement backed on the side, and that says it's safe for internal. A lot of companies will put on there not for internal use, and you definitely want to look for that if you're buying from a different, like from Whole Foods or something. So I was going to show you a couple different things you can do. Does anybody have a diffuser at home? Does anybody diffuse?
I don't, but I haven't used it.
Okay. All right. So you're going to have fun after this because you have stuff already at home to use. Okay. So this is a type of diffuser. There's lots of different types. I actually have another one plugged in. It holds, I want to say 500 milliliters, and it will run for like 8 hours. I love it so much. So what you're going to want to look for is a oil diffuser that uses water. You never want to heat essential oils. It will damage the chemical properties, and you won't get the benefit from it. It might smell okay, but you're not going to get the side benefits that we talked about. Okay, manage participants is popping up and blinking at me. Ooh, Ashley Smith, here we go. Wants to come in. All right. Hey, Ashley.
Hi.
All right, sorry, have you been waiting in there? We're on full screen, so I saw a little flashing come up.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Okay, welcome, welcome. Okay, so I'm just showing everybody how to use a diffuser. So I just poured water into my diffuser. I was like, you can't really see. I'm gonna move my screen down. You can see my book here. Okay, so I've got my diffuser. There's usually like a line where it shows you where to fill it. All of them are different. And I'm actually going to use spearmint because it's a happy, bright citrus, or it's not a citrus, a mint. And I'm going to add wild orange, which is a nice uplifting citrus. And so this diffuser runs for 4 hours. So I usually do 1 drop per hour my diffuser is going to run. And then you will just put the lid back on your diffuser, and all diffusers are different, so you would choose whichever setting. So I'm going to choose the 4-hour setting, and you can kind of see it misting up. So this is a way that you can use your oils. You can diffuse so much better than burning candles. There's no fire element. There's no toxic element. So that's a great way to get your oil aromatically. So I'm actually going to use peppermint and show you another thing you can do. Peppermint is great. Oh, okay. Zoom is telling me they're removing our 40-minute time limit. Thank you, Zoom. Okay, so peppermint is a really bright, uplifting. If you're kind of at 3 o'clock, you're feeling weighed down and you don't want another cup of coffee, peppermint is going to be your best friend. So if you were with me, we would do this together, but I'm just going to show you. So peppermint, instead of doing a full drop, I will just put the bottle like that, and I get some on my hand, but it's not a full drop. Peppermint can be really powerful. So I'm going to rub my hands together like this, and keeping my fingers away because I don't want peppermint in my eyeballs. So you can do this. So this would be aromatically. Breathing it in. It's really bright, and it opens your airways, and it wakes you up. Topically with peppermint, if you're feeling hot, if you're having a hot flash, if it's summer day and you need to cool off, or you have a headache, peppermint is great. And you can just rub on the back of your neck. And you could even rub on your temples if you don't want to get it on your eyes. And then if you want to do internal, you could just get a little bit off the top of the bottle inside the top of your mouth, and it's better than a breath mint. There's no sugar. It's really bright, freshens your breath. It's fantastic. So those are the 3 ways, aromatically, topically, and then internally. So that is that. Do you guys have any questions about that? No? Yes? I can't see Ashley. Why can't I see Ashley?
You may have to scroll because she's an extra person.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I see it.
I put it on a grid now. Okay. Here we go.
So I just want to say I did the peppermint on the back of my neck, and it was so cool. About 2, 3, 4 minutes later, I started feeling cool again. It was I was so surprised at how cooling it was.
It's funny. I'm still really surprised. I've been using essential oils since Nora was 6 months old, and they still always surprise me about how well they work. When the first thing I ever used oils for was a sore throat, and it was peppermint and lemon. And my sister-in-law was like, try this peppermint and lemon, put the lemon on first, then put the peppermint over and see how it does. And I was okay, because I would always get sore throats, and a lot of it was diet. I don't do all dairy, and I would get sore throats. We've now figured this out. But so I was like, okay, yeah, we'll see. And so if I went to bed with a sore throat, I woke up with a really bad sore throat. So I was going to bed, did the oils, and then I woke up and it was probably 50% better. And I was like, that's coincidence. It's not. This didn't really work. And then I kept doing, I probably did it a couple more times throughout the day, and my sore throat went away. And I was like, that had to be a fluke. And you'll have that first experience, right? That has to have been a fluke. And then when Nora was a baby, she was 6 months old, and she had a cough. And with babies, there's not a whole lot you can do for a cough. And so a girlfriend of mine was having an essential oil roller ball making taste testing. And so then they were making a cough roller ball. So I was like, I'll just go check it out. I don't know if I can use it on babies, but maybe I can. So I went, and lo and behold, you can use essential oils on babies. You just dilute it way more than you would dilute for yourself. And I made this roller ball with frankincense, lime, a blend called Breathe, and a little bit of eucalyptus. And I brought it home, and I put it on the bottoms of her feet and a little bit on her chest. And I did that, throughout the day, and her cough slowly got better. And I was like, okay, if this can help my kids and not have to give them a bunch of medication or do things that are gonna, or just let them suffer, I'm sold. So that was kind of the moment where I was sold. So, okay.
I have
Was that a question? Okay.
a question.
So, yes.
Topically, it says always dilute with carrier oil for best results.
Yes.
How or when do you do that, or how much, or?
So with the carrier oil, I would say for an adult, a drop per, I would do, let's see. So if you're just putting it in your hand, and I like to do, instead of doing a whole drop, I like to do the whole, like put the bottle in your hand like that, or just like rub the top of the side of the bottle. And then I just do a few, like this bottle has a pump on it. So I just do like half a pump, and then, or you could do like a few drops out of the bottle. For adults, you want to probably do like a 25% dilution rate. So if you're doing 1 part essential oil, do 3 parts carrier oil. For babies, in a bottle like this 10 milliliter bottle, you can do like 1 or 2 drops of essential oil, like up to 5, but as well as 1 drop can be effective for babies. So
how do you dilute it? You have to put it into another bottle, or?
yes. So say this, you can order these online. And so this comes out, and it's a roller. And I believe I linked some when I post these notes for you guys in the comments on the Wellness Within post. There are clickable links, and I'll show you where they are when we get to the bottom of the slides. So this, you would just take your bottle, your essential oil bottle, drop, depending on who's using it, you're gonna drop oils into here, and then you're gonna take your carrier oil and you're gonna fill it up, and then you're gonna put your roller back on, pops on, and you put the lid on. And so how this works, you would roll on pulse points, which actually brings me to the next slide. So pulse points, you're gonna wanna use essential oils diluted. You can use them full strength, which is the technical word is called meat application versus diluted application. Diluted is just safer. It's safer for your skin, and it's actually going to give you a slow penetrating absorption is the word. So when you put a essential oil on without diluting it, it's going to flash off, which means evaporate. 70% of it's going to flash off. So that means you're only getting 30% of that oil into your skin, or if you're applying it topically and you want it into your skin, that's throwing 70% of your essential oil away. So when you dilute it, it basically binds it to your skin and gives it that protective layer to keep it there so it can absorb. So that's kind of why you want to dilute. For your pulse points, so this would be to kind of get an aromatic and into your skin. So your pulse points are where your arteries are closest to your skin. So it's going to be the quickest. They're pretty warm as well. So temples are going to be a really popular one. The sides of your lower jaw, the sides of your neck right here, your inner bicep, you kind of have that like one little soft spot right here, wrists, your groin area, behind your knees, your ankles, and then the upper part of the foot are all going to be pulse points. And then what we talked about earlier, great application spots, especially for kids and babies that you don't know like what they're putting in their hand, or putting their hands. The bottoms of the feet with some little socks on are great spots for kids. Even adults, if there's an oil you want the benefits of but you don't necessarily like the smell of, rub on your feet, throw some socks on, call it a day. So those are some application points for you guys. Okay, so aromatherapy, your brain on oils. So we all, if you go to Wellness Within, you are very familiar with mind-body connection, and smell is that way too. There's a very emotional and physical connection to scent and the way your body processes scent. Emotional stress, or acute or chronic, can have tremendous effects in the body and mental health, and when you can use aromatherapy to combat that. And I think right now, the time that we find ourselves in, these can be a great tool to help lower stress, boost your immune system. And those two are actually very connected, your immune system and your stress level. So the way it kind of works is smell enters your nose, hits your olfactory receptors, goes straight to your limbic brain, is where your emotions are. It goes to your amygdala, and then your emotional and body chemistry response is triggered. So you actually have a chemical response to smell. When you smell something you really love, like chocolate chip cookies, like what's the feeling that you get? I think we all have probably a story that you could share of a scent that takes you back to when you were a kid, or takes you back to a moment in time. And for me, I have the weirdest one. It's hot tomatoes. And when I'm outside and in a garden, or if like we've brought groceries in and they're kind of warm, if I smell warm tomatoes, it takes me back. I'm a 7-year-old little girl again, and I'm picking tomatoes in the hot sun with my grandma. Like, it's just immediately, I can feel the stickiness of the tomato plant, you know, how they're kind of sticky and like kind of like velvety. And we would pick and we would eat the warm grape tomatoes, and that smell just like is that memory for me. So that, does anybody have a story like that? No?
Well, oh, sure. Just with different smells and grass, fresh cut grass, and
Yeah.
hay, or sheets that used to hang out on the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all like takes you back to those moments. And music is the same way.
Mhm.
It's very emotionally connected. So I'm just going to read this right here for you guys. The olfactory system has direct connections to brain structures involved in memory and emotions, such as the hippocampus and the thalamus. The hippocampus regulates motivation, emotion, learning, and memory. And the thalamus relays sensory impulses from receptors in various parts of the body. And the sensation is passed on to the cerebral cortex for interpretations such as touch, pain, or temperature. So it's all very, very connected. Okay. Our next slide is how fast oils actually work. So if you're going to use an essential oil for something, how quickly should you be seeing a result? Okay, so when you smell an essential oil, it takes 22 seconds for molecules to reach your brain. And from that point, it's going to process, like in the slide that I just showed you. 2 minutes, it's going to be found in your bloodstream. And in 20 minutes, it's going to have entered every cell of your body. So if you are using an essential oil and you are trying to relax, or if you're trying to reduce some pain, I would recommend giving it 20 to 30 minutes. Using a little bit, giving it 20 to 30 minutes, and then seeing how you feel. And that's a great little one. I kind of always try to, some people say it's a 22 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. And some people will say 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 30 minutes. So there's a little bit of, I wouldn't say controversy, but there's this difference of people say different things. Okay, so now we're all here. Cancer and essential oils. So I am not a cancer expert. I have, experienced cancer with my son, but I am not a doctor. So this is all research that I've done. I'll have my resources at the bottom for you guys and clickable links. So for cancer, I'm just going to read this for you guys. I'm going to move this little box here for myself. Okay, so aromatherapy is primarily used by cancer patients as supportive care for general well-being. Aromatherapy can be used with other complementary treatments like massage and acupuncture, as well as with standard treatments for symptom management. So they're very supportive. And from the studies that I'm going to show you guys, a lot of the studies show that they're very beneficial with massage for cancer patients. Okay, so most of these I got from PubMed. So these studies showed pain reduction in cancer patients using lavender topically, anxiety reduction in cancer patients using lavender and sandalwood, and this was, I believe, by diffusing. And this next one was very interesting for me. And I'm just going to read it so I don't butcher it. So in 71 trial patients, results from inhaling ginger and lemon for 10 minutes daily before radioactive iodine treatment for thyroid cancer suggests that by increasing saliva production during radioactive iodine treatment with the inhalation therapy, it increased iodine clearance in salivary glands, and it may lead to reductions in long-term damage to saliva production. So what this was saying, by using those oils to stimulate the secretion of saliva, it actually protected their glands in their body while they were going the radioactive iodine treatment, which that was very fascinating to me because that had never even occurred to me. So if you know anybody going through that, that would be something to suggest. And there's actually links to this article down below. If you are somebody who deals with anxiety, anxiety was the main reason I came to Wellness Within. I wasn't coping at all. I got through over 3 years of treatment with my son, and at that point he was 4, almost 5, going into kindergarten, and I was just an anxious mess. I still deal with anxiety, but not quite as bad. I have new tools in my toolbox, but these would have been great at the time to use. So reduction in anxiety and in physical and psychological symptoms using chamomile along with massage. So if you are somebody who goes and gets massages, I would definitely recommend it if you are dealing with anxiety. But you can actually check with your practitioner and see if you can bring in an essential oil for them to use during your massage. I know several friends who do that, and they just take whatever oil they want to use that day, and their massage therapist will use it for them. Another study showed improvements in tiredness, drowsiness, lack of appetite, depression, anxiety, and well-being by using peppermint, lavender, and chamomile aromatically. And I don't believe it was all together. I think that it was just like one or the other. You could mix those together. I'm not sure how chamomile would do with the peppermint, but those are all great oils. Chamomile is actually, an essential oil, is very strong, so I like to dilute it quite a bit. Another study showed repeated exposure to lavender and tea tree oils, and this one is more cautionary. So if you are somebody who's dealt with estrogen-dependent tumors, this would be something that you would want to look into. Repeated exposure to lavender and tea tree oils by topical administration was shown in one study to have weak estrogenic and anti-androgenic activities. Therefore, avoiding these 2 essential oils is recommended in patients with estrogen-dependent tumors. However, this is the first published report of this type of adverse effect when using products containing tea tree or lavender. So that is something that you would just want to keep in mind. There are other calming oils. So if you are somebody who didn't want to use lavender, you could use Roman chamomile, or there's another oil called petitgrain that is more bitter smelling, but it also has that high linalool content that's going to give you that same effect. So those are some studies, and again, I'll have the links below for you guys. So now to some fun stuff. These are some recipes and different oils to use for boosting your immune system, getting some rest, and lowering your stress. Okay. And then I think if you guys have the little box that has everyone's faces in it, you can click it and move it if you need to get it out of the way so you can see all the writing on the sides. Okay, so immune support. These are all oils. You don't have to use them all together. You can use them individually, but these are oils that are going to support your immune system. Arbor vitae, black pepper, copaiba. That's actually pronounced copaiba. And I actually use that one for my sleep at night. Clove, cinnamon, grapefruit, tangerine, melissa, on guard, pink pepper, frankincense, helichrysum, turmeric, oregano, tea tree, basil, lime, rose, thyme, and lemon. Again, you'll have access to these notes, so you don't need to write all these down. I'm going to give you guys the link for this. So how will you use these oils? I'm going to show you. So these are some recipes. These are just a few. There are so many recipes in this book that I showed you, in the Essential Life book, and online you can find different recipes too. I actually really just like using my book because sometimes when you get online, it can be really overwhelming and you're like, I don't know who is giving me this recipe. Do they know what they're doing? So personally, I have a couple resources online that I like, and I just love my book. Okay, so for an immune boosting bath, so if you can kind of, you know how like you can tell like you're getting worn down, you need to kind of take it a little more easy, be gentle with yourself, and do some immune system love. And bath is a great way to do that. And my secret recipe, it's actually not a secret, but because I wrote it right here for you, I love mixing Epsom salts and baking soda. You can also do pink Himalayan salt, and that actually is just like so nice. And I do you can do a third Epsom, a third pink salt, and a third baking soda, and mix that all together. It's really nice. And adding a little bit of a carrier oil to that, it's going to help keep your essential oils from, again, like we talked about, flashing off the top of your bath water. It's going to help grab those and sink them into your water and get them on your skin and hug them to your body. So you would want to do 4 drops each, frankincense and copaiba. Frankincense is calming to your nervous system. It boosts your immune system. Copaiba is, it works on your endocannabinoid system, similarly to a CBD, but it is not hemp derived. So that is one way you could use oils for immune boosting. You could also do diffusing. And so this blend down here is the Open Airways diffuser blend. So you would just take your diffuser like I showed you, 2 drops each lemon, lavender, peppermint, and melaleuca. And this is actually also, that would also be great for someone who has allergies or like stuffy nose or congestion. That's going to really help open up your airways, get you breathing clearly. And then I always, if I'm having some congestion, I like to like just get my diffuser and plop it next to wherever I am. I like to have a diffuser in every single room. So it makes it easy. And if you have a smaller diffuser, you could drop that recipe down to 1 and 1 instead of doing 2. This roller blend is going to be a great one for the whole family. I like to use an immune boosting roller on my family every day, especially during this season that we're in, along with, you know, hand washing. You can even use like lemon or a blend called On Guard on your hands diluted if you, in a pinch, if you don't have some ability to wash your hands. So this Flume roller blend, so you're going to mix 5 drops each into a 10 milliliter roller ball. So this is a 10 milliliter. Sometimes you'll see ones that are 5. So you're going to want to do, let's see, where is it? Frankincense, lemon, oregano, On Guard, and melaleuca. 5 drops each. If you are mixing for a child or you're mixing for somebody who is elderly, you're going to want to do 1 drop each. So that is a great blend. And Flume, it just stands for frankincense, lemon, oregano, On Guard, and melaleuca. So that's the Flume blend. Okay. Any questions that you guys have before I move on? No, you can. And I think too, another big thing that some people don't think about is quality with immune support are the super basics. Getting enough water, good quality water, make sure it's filtered, don't drink tap water. Getting enough rest. In this, during this time, I tend to be an anxious stay-upper at nighter. I will just like, you know, be so amped up at night, especially with my kids being home full time. It's, you know, my only alone time. So, and mommy needs her alone time to be a nice mom. So, all the moms laugh. So, but I've been finding myself staying up way too late, and I can tell, like it's wearing me down. And so that's my homework next week for myself, is to get back into the rhythm of taking care of myself and going to bed on time, drinking my water, you know, eating good quality food is so important with boosting your immune system, making sure your gut health is in check. Those are all, you know, oils aren't magical. If you're treating your body badly, but then throwing some oils on top, you might get a little bit of the benefits, but it's not going to be something that's going to be a miracle cure. So always have to throw that out there. Lifestyle is a part of it too. Okay, so oils to lower stress. And where are we at on time? Okay, we're at 10:52, so we're actually almost done too. So I want to make sure we get through most of this, Kathy, for you, but you'll have access to the notes. So for lowering stress, bergamot, birch, black pepper, blue tansy, cassia, clary sage, copaiba, coriander, fennel, frankincense, geranium, jasmine, juniper berry, lavender, litchi, manuka, oregano, patchouli, sandalwood, tangerine, vetiver, yarrow, and Roman chamomile. And you will notice that some of those from the immune support were doubled in here. And that's why I love oils, because you can take something like cassia or black pepper or copaiba, and it's going to have multiple effects for you. So how can you mix these up? So for a roller blend, so again, that's something like this. You could do 5 drops bergamot, 5 drops lemon. And this is a potent blend. So again, for babies or a child or someone who's older, you're going to want to dilute this more. But there's bergamot, lemon, citrus bliss is a doTERRA blend, lime, lavender, balance, and serenity. And those 2 at the end are also doTERRA blends. But you combine these into a 10 milliliter roller, fill the remainder with coconut oil, and apply to those pulse points that we talked about to reduce feelings of anxiety as needed. So you can keep it in your purse, keep it in your pocket. You could also turn that into a diffuser blend, just do like a drop of each. And you could use this from stress to carefree diffuser blend, 4 drops of green mandarin and 1 drop of clove. Diffuse and enjoy. And then there's this bath that I really like. It's energizing but also calming. You would do 4 drops each wild orange, and then you would also do lavender. So any citrus is going to be uplifting and bright. It's great for mood. It's great as an antidepressant. And then lavender, again, is going to be that calming, soothing energy. So you're going to get the upper of the wild orange and the calming of the lavender. Okay, and then relaxing and resting. So that's very close to the reducing stress. So some of these can be intertwined. Basil, blue tansy, cassia, cedarwood, clary sage, cypress, fennel, geranium and jasmine, lavender, litchi, manuka, marjoram. I love marjoram. I had a side note. I love marjoram. Myrrh, neroli, ravensar, white fir, ylang ylang, and Roman chamomile. So those are all wonderful for getting some good rest. And then a relaxed roller blend would be 5 drops of blue tansy. And blue tansy is really funny because it is very, very blue. It's like dark, dark blue. If you put it on your skin, it's like Smurf level blue. So you have 5 drops of blue tansy and then 5 drops of wild orange. Again, combining those into your roller ball. And then this restful sleep diffuser blend, 2 drops each, green mandarin, Roman chamomile, and clary sage. So the green mandarin is actually mandarins harvested before they're ripe. So it's just a mandarin that's green. It's not like a certain variety. And then it's, again, pressed, and that essential oil is harvested. And then it combines with the florals of the Roman chamomile and the clary sage. And clary sage is also very good for hormone support. And I use it like to support my cycle, my monthly cycle. You can do pulse points. You can also rub it on your abdomen, low abdomen. A little side note. There's also this another bath recipe called Quiet the Mind. I know sometimes I personally, and maybe some of you can relate, my mind just like spins and I'm just like, what about this? What about this? What about this? So if you're feeling that way, you hop in the bath, do this blend, 3 drops each sandalwood, lavender, and 1 drop of cedarwood. You could also, with any of these, turn them into a roller, put them in a diffuser, if you want to have it with you, if you don't have time for a bath. Okay. So any questions on those? No, you guys good? Okay. So supplies to have on hand. So I didn't link the book. I'll put it in the comments. But there's links for roller and spray bottles in here. You can get these online. These are glass spray bottles. This is a spray I made for spiders. They don't like mints, peppermint, and spearmint, and we tend to have black widows around our house. So I keep this next to the back door. I've also made like outdoor bug sprays. So before my kids go outside, I spray them with bugs, or for bugs, I spray them with bugs. So these you can get like on Amazon. And then I just use filtered water. So you do your oils and then you can do filtered water. The bug spray one, I think it has witch hazel in it too. So there's lots of fun recipes in this book. So this is one type of bottle that you can use. This is another type. This one is a plastic one. This one's actually from doTERRA. But this is a great for like a little hand sanitizer spray or an easy one to like keep in your pocket or purse. It's nice and lightweight and thin. And then roller bottles. There's all different types of little containers that you can keep your oils in. This is like a 10 milliliter. This would be an example of 5 milliliter. And this is actually called a dram. And you can find little pouches that will hold these if you want to have a little collection in your purse, but you don't want to carry a bunch of bottles. You can get little baggies that hold these, and you just put a little label on top, and then you can unzip it and have those on hand for you. Fractionated coconut oil is something you want to have on hand. Epsom salt and baking soda are some things if you want to do the bath soaks. Are going to be a few things that you want to have on hand.
I'm sorry, Amy. I have to go. So
okay. It was nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for everything, and I'll look and check back, see, find your links.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it's gonna be in the comments. It'll be a link to these notes as a Google Doc. And as you scroll through in the Google Doc, anything underlined is clickable.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye. So a note on care of your oils. So keeping your oils out of direct sunlight is going to be really important. They will actually oxidize in sunlight. So keeping them in a drawer or in a cupboard is going to be your best bet for giving them the longest shelf life. If you keep them stored properly, they can last up to 5 years. So sometimes you can look at certain ones and they're like a little bit pricey, but if you're storing it correctly and you're diluting, they actually can last you a really long time. It's a great investment for your health. Okay, so right here, these are some of the sources. I used cancer.gov and PubMed, and then Oil Life is where you can get this book. So I actually did link it. Ta-da! Okay, and then this is kind of the end of our class, you guys. So I just wanted to say thank you for coming. In the notes, when you get the clickables, there's a green cleaning guide for you guys. We did all the other immune support, but then I love to do DIYs, so I put some green cleaning essential oil DIYs here for you guys. You can click that and get that. Let me get over here. So if you guys want more oil goodness, if you want more information, you can set up a free essential oil consultation with me. You can email me from this email right here, or you can send me a message. Okay, is somebody trying to get in? I have this flashing up here. Chat. Okay. Sorry, guys. Uh-oh. Okay. Sorry. I want to make sure I'm seeing everything from everybody. Okay, so you can email me if you want to set up a free consultation. I'm also a health coach, so I try to integrate oils into as many areas for holistic health and well-being. If you're on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram, Amplify Oils with Amy. Excuse me. And then I have a private Facebook group called Amplify Oils, and you can click that link. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. One second. I do not have the virus.
You haven't? Are you okay?
Yeah, I just got like a crazy tickle. Okay, so this is an example. Peppermint, if you're having respiratory issues. And then these breathe drops are great for respiratory support if you're having a tickle. But I'm not going to put anything in my mouth right now while I'm talking. So that's my contact information. It'll be in the notes for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then if you want anything, if you want to see the brand of oils I recommend or get them at a discount, there's a link right there. I'm always here to answer questions and for support. And so right now, if you guys have any questions or want me to look up anything in the book, I can hang out for a little bit longer if you guys would like.
I do have one question.
Yeah.
So can you put essential oils in hot water and have it like a tea, like the lemon or the peppermint? Because you talked about the heat, but then if you're putting it in hot water, how does that work?
So if you are smelling it right there, so with heat, you don't want to be burning it like a hot, with like a candle. You know, like how some people put like those little tarts in the little burner.
Yeah, the melts. Yeah.
Yes. So you'd never want to use essential oils like that where you're putting it like on top of like a candle or something. But if you're pouring, say, you needed some respiratory support and you were putting some lemon and tea tree and peppermint in a hot mug of water, you want to cover your eyes because you don't want it in your eyes, but you can get a little towel and cover your eyes and you can breathe that in. And what that's doing is going to evaporate it into the air so you can inhale it. It's basically like a hot diffuser. So basically for the heating, it's going to be more of like a burning type element. You don't want to like burn it. Yeah.
And then if you can take it internally, you could drink like a lemon tea.
Yes. So again, and you guys have seen on here, I use doTERRA, but you always
have to look for the supplemental thing. Yeah.
So if you see an oil that says supplement fact on it, and you can double check it, but you can take it internally because it is verified as a supplement. A lot of essential oils that you will find will say not recommended for internal use, and that's because they've been adulterated with either fillers, or they will kind of bulk them up with other compounds, like say like lavender has linalool, but it also has a bunch of other different chemical properties. So they'll take like a weak lavender and they'll add a synthetic linalool to boost its linalool content. But it's not structurally the same way. So a lot of times, what you really want to look for is where the oils are sourced is where they would grow naturally, because that's where the plant is the happiest. That's where it's going to have the most chemical diversity. Because if you take one chemical constituent and you isolate it and you use it, it's going to work. That's why synthetics work. Like synthetics actually aren't bad for you. They just don't work as well as how they are found naturally in nature. So it's kind of like a mirrored image. So say this is the real linalool and this is a synthetic. They are similar, but they don't line up. So your body's not receiving the chemical the same way, if that makes sense. So synthetics, a lot of times you're like, oh, synthetics are so bad. They're not necessarily bad. They just don't work as well. And so why would you want to use something that doesn't work as well? So that's kind of my thought process behind it. And there's, what's the word? I'm failing with my words today. But when you have a full essential oil and you don't have the isolated properties, they're all of them work together to give you the effect, where if you isolate one thing, it's going to give you one effect, but it's not good. It's like listening to a violin versus listening to a symphony. You know, it's like it's not the same. It's not the same. So it's the same way that the essential oils work on your body, basically. So, yeah. Do you guys have any other questions? No? And I actually just realized I didn't show you this one book that I really, really love. It's called Essential Emotions. And this goes over the emotional properties of the oils. When I first started with oils, I was like, man, whatever, emotional properties of oils. But over time, I've really come to love this book so much. And lavender, let me find lavender in here. Lavender is called the oil of communication and calm. And so I actually forgot to do this before we started. But if you're going to have like a conversation or need to communicate clearly, or if you're having a hard conversation and you want to make sure that you say everything you need to say, putting a drop of lavender over your throat is very supportive for that. And then also an oil called Melissa. Right now, during this time of like so much, I would say emotional, like all the immune support that is needed right now for everybody in our world, but then also the emotional support. Melissa, it's lemon balm, is a very supportive oil. You can use that diffused or applied topically, or you can even like do a little swipe on the roof of your mouth like I did with the peppermint. That's also going to be a really great supportive one during this time too. So we could be here all day talking about all the different things that would be helpful, but we all have stuff to do. So if you guys have any more questions, I'll take your last questions and then I will let you go on your way. You guys good? Ashley, you good?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. And then I didn't see your name. Let me get out of stop. Let's see. I'm going to stop my screen share.
I think Marina dropped off as well.
Okay, Karina. Okay, and then Denise. We've got you still, Denise. Okay.
Thank you
right.
so much, Amy. That was
Thank
really
you.
informative. Yeah,
Yay.
and I will make sure it also gets in the class. When you put the link up there, I'll put it in the neon class calendar for folks who aren't on Facebook as well. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you
And
guys
then
so
just,
much. I appreciate it.
maybe put the link to the video on a Google Drive, and then I can take it from there and upload it to YouTube if that's okay with you.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Thanks,
right.
Amy.
You're welcome. You guys have a
Have a
good
great
day.
weekend, everyone. It was great to see everyone.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Bye.